on the hit TV series Gunsmoke. It ran from 1955 to 1975, one of the longest-running primetime dramas in TV history.
Gunsmoke, a groundbreaking Western series, held viewers captivated for an unprecedented 20 seasons, shaping television with its gritty realism, memorable characters, and compelling plots.
What's it, Chester?
What's it? What's it? That's my name, Chester.
Loved by Americans and viewers worldwide, the show followed Marshal Matt Dillon's adventures week after week. Despite its global popularity, a particular scene sparked controversy.
Grow up. You men have a fine idea of what growing up is. Just settle it with a gun. Just shoot somebody and that makes you a man.
Well, let's go. Let's see what happens.
No.
Ultimately leading to its cancellation. Join us as we delve into the details of the scene that brought Gunsmoke to an unexpected end. From radio to television. In the dawn of television's golden age, when the flickering screens were still finding their voice, adapting beloved radio dramas to the small screen was both a challenge and an opportunity. Among these pioneers was Gunsmoke, a gritty Western series that had already captured the imagination of radio listeners since 1952. When it made its debut on television in 1955,
Gunsmoke is television's longest-running primetime series. The show began as a radio western and then moved to television in 1955.
it faced a daunting task: how to translate its raw, adult-oriented storytelling into a visual medium that would resonate with a broader audience. John Meston, the creative force behind Gunsmoke, envisioned a portrayal of the American West that was starkly realistic and morally complex. With William Conrad's distinctive voice breathing life into Marshal Matt Dillon on radio, the show carved out a niche for itself with tales of justice, honor, and the harsh realities of frontier life in Dodge City. The transition to television was a meticulous dance of creativity and compromise. CBS executives grappled with casting decisions, hesitant to disrupt the established image of Dillon as embodied by Conrad's voice. Yet the visual medium demanded a new interpretation. James Arness, initially a lesser-known actor, eventually took on the iconic role, recommended by none other than John Wayne himself, who saw in him the rugged authenticity needed to bring Dillon to life on screen. Behind the scenes, Norman Macdonnell and John Meston ensured continuity from radio to television, adapting scripts that retained the essence of Gunsmoke's narrative depth and character complexity. As the series found its visual stride, it ventured beyond the confines of radio, exploring new dimensions of storytelling, lush Western landscapes, nuanced character development, and gripping moral dilemmas that resonated deeply with viewers. Gunsmoke thrived on television, defies initial doubts, and evolves into a cultural phenomenon that spanned 2 decades and 635 episodes.
I wouldn't sit down there alongside either one of you if I was on my last legs. Man's known by the company he keeps.
Known by what?
By the company he keeps.
Its success lay not only in its narrative prowess, but also in its ability to capture the spirit of the American West, a place where heroes were flawed, justice was hard-earned, and every sunset marked a new frontier. As Gunsmoke progressed into its 20th season, a pivotal scene unfolded where Marshal Matt Dillon faced an ethical dilemma that tested the show's boundaries. In this episode, Dillon was forced to confront a moral gray area that divided audiences and sparked controversy. Was this scene the catalyst behind the show's abrupt end, leaving viewers to speculate without closure? Before diving into that, let's explore how the casting decisions shaped the show's evolution. Notable Gunsmoke casting. In the world of television casting, finding the ideal actors for a series like Gunsmoke was as challenging and unpredictable as the Old West it portrayed. The radio series first aired on CBS on April 26, 1952, with the episode Billy the Kid, introducing William Conrad as Marshal Matt Dillon, Howard McNear as Doc Charles Adams, Georgia Ellis as Kitty Russell, and Parley Bear as Dillon's assistant, Chester Wesley Proudfoot. William Conrad's portrayal of Matt Dillon on radio set a precedent for rugged individualism and moral complexity. With a resonantly powerful and distinctive voice, Conrad embodied Dillon as a lonely and isolated man toughened by the harsh realities of the frontier. Despite initial concerns about overexposure, Conrad's audition won over producer Norman Macdonnell, shaping Dillon into a character deeply scarred by the brutalities of the Old West, as envisioned by writer John Meston. When CBS executives decided to transition Gunsmoke from radio to television, the challenge of casting Matt Dillon became paramount. Initially, the role was offered to William Conrad, whose portrayal on radio had already solidified Dillon's image in the minds of listeners. However, concerns arose about Conrad's physical appearance not aligning with the rugged, handsome archetype typically associated with Western heroes. During auditions, James Arness emerged as a compelling alternative, standing at an imposing 6 feet 7 inches tall and possessing a World War II veteran's presence. Arness brought a commanding gravitas to the role that resonated with the network executives and audiences alike. At first, there were doubts as to whether Arness would get the row, as people had already got accustomed to William Conrad already. Arness brought a rugged authenticity to the role, portraying Dillon with a commanding stature that resonated on screen.
Good. Now look, you gonna get out of here right away?
I sure am. It's no fun getting shot at.
It's the truth, isn't it?
Howard McNear's portrayal of Doc Adams in the radio series initially depicted him as self-interested and somewhat dark, with a penchant for seeking autopsy fees and a borderline alcoholic streak. Over time, McNear's performance evolved, imbuing Doc with warmth and sympathy as he settled in Dodge City under the name Charles Adams. Milburn Stone took on the television role of Doc Adams, adding further depth to the character with his portrayal of Dr. Galen Adams. Stone's choice of the name Galen reflected the character's medical expertise and paternal wisdom, grounding the series in themes of redemption and human frailty amidst the untamed West. Amanda Blake's journey as Miss Kitty Russell, though not originating from the radio series, echoed the pioneering spirit of the show. Her portrayal evolved from a mysterious saloon owner into a pivotal figure in Dodge City, navigating complex relationships with grace and determination. The role of Miss Kitty Russell, originally considered for Polly Bond, found its definitive voice in Blake's resilient performance, shaping the narrative of female agency in the Old West. Dennis Weaver's path to Chester Good added humor and vulnerability to the series. Initially auditioning for the role of Matt Dillon, Weaver's charisma and charm earned him the role of Dillon's loyal deputy. Weaver's portrayal of Chester, with his distinctive limp and unwavering loyalty, became a beloved counterpart to James Arness's Dillon, grounding Gunsmoke in enduring camaraderie amidst the chaos of frontier life. Guest appearances. Throughout the storied history of Gunsmoke, a diverse array of prominent actors graced the bustling streets of Dodge City. The series boasted an impressive lineup of guest stars, ranging from beloved TV icons to Hollywood legends. Notably, the familiar faces of the Brady Bunch made their frontier debut. Christopher Knight, known for his role as Peter Brady, appeared in Season 14's The Miracle Man. Eve Plum, renowned as Jan Brady, took on the role of Sue in Gold Town, also in Season 14. Susan Olsen, recognized as Cindy Brady, made her mark across Seasons 14 and 15 with 2 distinctive appearances, adding her unique charm to the Wild West. The star-studded roster extended far beyond the Brady family. Charles Bronson, celebrated for his tough guy persona, brought his trademark intensity to the role of Crego in 1956, a character he revisited in subsequent years. David Carradine, famous for Kung Fu, traded martial arts for horse thievery in a memorable episode. Leslie Nielsen, known for his comedic prowess, showcased his versatility as a gang leader in the Western genre. Numerous other celebrities made brief yet memorable contributions, from Nick Nolte to Dennis Hopper, Sam Elliott to Richard Dreyfuss, Kurt Russell to Harrison Ford. Each left an indelible mark on the rich history of Gunsmoke's guest stars. Among them, one actor's journey stood out: Ken Curtis. Initially appearing as a tragic Texan cowboy, Curtis returned to Gunsmoke in the iconic role of Festus Hagen, a character who evolved from a minor part into a beloved mainstay. A one-of-a-kind radio series. Gunsmoke revolutionized radio dramas with its stark realism, particularly in its early years. Marshall Dillon navigated the harsh realities of frontier life, confronting inevitable losses and moral quandaries that defined his existence. John Dunning aptly observed Dylan's perpetual struggle against the odds, portraying a gritty realism rarely seen in westerns of the time. The show boldly delved into explicit themes such as violent crimes, massacres, and moral ambiguities, often leaving criminals unpunished and ethical dilemmas unresolved. This approach contrasted sharply with the polished narratives of its contemporaries, establishing Gunsmoke as a pioneer in authentic storytelling. The series' meticulous pacing and immersive soundscapes created a genuine portrayal of the Old West. The dialogue evolved naturally, reflecting the rugged cadence of frontier life, while carefully crafted sound effects brought the prairie setting to life. Notably, Gunsmoke initially aired without sponsorship, a proof of the producer's commitment to preserving its integrity. They staunchly rejected offers from sponsors seeking to sanitize the show, ensuring its raw authenticity and unflinching portrayal of frontier realities remained intact. Television series proposal. The notion of bringing Gunsmoke to television emerged as tales of Dodge City's law enforcement captivated radio audiences, raising questions about the show's future. Norman Macdonnell, the creative force behind the radio series, initially harbored doubts about transitioning to television, staunchly asserting that "our show is perfect for radio." John Dunning echoed these concerns, fearing that adapting to television might compromise the authenticity and meticulousness that defined Gunsmoke. Despite McDonnell's reservations, CBS proceeded with plans for a television adaptation, ultimately taking control away from the seasoned radio producer. Auditions, though seen by figures like William Conrad as formalities, moved forward amid skepticism. To maintain continuity, John Meston, the series' principal writer, continued crafting compelling narratives for both radio and television. Early on, the TV adaptation closely mirrored its radio predecessor, often adapting dialogue and scenes directly from Meston's scripts. Dunning emphasizes that the television show's success owed much to the enduring strength of Meston's storytelling, despite criticism from radio purists who viewed it as a mere imitation. Under McDonnell and Meston's guidance, Gunsmoke remained on air until 1961, solidifying its legacy as one of the longest-running and most influential old-time radio dramas.
On the hit TV series Gunsmoke. It ran from 1955 to 1975, one of the longest-running primetime dramas in TV history.
The Gunsmoke Legacy. Celebrating Gunsmoke's illustrious 50-year television legacy, 2006 marked a milestone with the release of 3 distinctive DVD collections. Gunsmoke, Volume 1 curated 12 classic episodes spanning 1955 to 1964, capturing the essence of the show's early years. Meanwhile, Gunsmoke Volume 2 featured 12 episodes from 1964 to 1975, showcasing the later seasons of this iconic series. For enthusiasts seeking the ultimate experience, both volumes were bundled together in a coveted gift box set. In addition to these offerings, Gunsmoke, the director's collection, emerged as a special release, spotlighting 10 meticulously selected episodes from various seasons across the show's 2-decade span. These compilations, cherished by dedicated fans, were released under the CBS DVD and Paramount Home Entertainment labels. Furthermore, Paramount Home Entertainment and CBS DVD undertook a monumental effort spanning from 2007 to 2020 in Region 1 to release the complete series on DVD. Nearly every season underwent careful restoration, ensuring a high-quality viewing experience and preserving Gunsmoke's enduring legacy for future generations. On May 5, 2020, Gunsmoke fans celebrated a landmark moment with the release of the complete series box set, a treasure trove of nostalgic episodes. Featuring enhanced features like closed captioning and English audio, these DVDs became cherished possessions, allowing viewers to fully immerse themselves in the timeless adventures of Marshal Matt Dillon and the vibrant residents of Dodge City. In 1987, CBS commissioned Gunsmoke, Return to Dodge, a historic reunion film that saw James Arness and Amanda Blake reprising their iconic roles as Matt Dillon and Miss Kitty. Despite the absence of beloved characters like Festus Hagen and Doc Adams, the movie effectively captured the enduring essence of the original series. Continuing the saga in 1990, Gunsmoke, The Last Apache honored Amanda Blake's legacy by revisiting the poignant 1973 episode Matt's Love Story. Michael Learn's return as Mike Yardner added depth to the storyline, exploring themes of forgiveness and enduring love. Subsequent television films including Gunsmoke to the Last Man, 1992, Gunsmoke, The Long Ride, 1993, and Gunsmoke, One Man's Justice, 1994, directed by James Arness himself, ensured that Gunsmoke's legacy would resonate in the hearts and minds of audiences for years to come, solidifying its place in television history. James Arness and how his war injuries shaped Gunsmoke. James Arness's wartime injuries left a lasting impact on the production of Gunsmoke. Prior to his acting career, Arness served in the US Army during World War II and was wounded in action during the Battle of Anzio in January 1944. He sustained injuries to his lower right leg and foot from machine gun fire, earning commendations such as the Bronze Star and Purple Heart. These injuries affected his mobility for the rest of his life. Arness's wartime injuries required Gunsmoke to carefully plan his scenes, particularly those involving walking. He battled severe arthritis as a result, which posed additional challenges during filming. Despite these obstacles, Arness demonstrated remarkable dedication, often filming all his scenes in a single day to allow for adequate recovery time throughout the week. His commitment to portraying Marshal Matt Dillon, alongside Milburn Stone's portrayal of Doc Adams, played a pivotal role in the show's enduring popularity. The success of Gunsmoke was further bolstered by its ensemble cast and the iconic portrayal of Miss Kitty Russell by Amanda Blake, who was not originally cast for the role. The show's historical significance, transitioning from radio to television and later expanding into a series of TV films in the late 1980s and early 1990s, solidified its place in television history. Despite initial challenges and format changes, Gunsmoke's blend of drama, character development, and frontier realism resonated with viewers across generations. The theme song, Old Trails. The legendary theme of Gunsmoke, known as Old Trails or Boot Hill, has firmly entrenched itself in popular culture as an enduring piece of trivia. Crafted by the talented Rex Corey, this musical masterpiece provided the backdrop for Marshal Matt Dillon and the denizens of Dodge City, accompanying them through their myriad adventures and trials. Originally conducted by Corey himself for the radio series, CBS's West Coast music director, Lud Gluskin, took charge of its adaptation for television. Despite its evocative melody, the theme's lyrics remained largely unnoticed by listeners and viewers alike, yet instantly recognizable to fans. In 1955, Tex Ritter, a prominent figure in country music, added another layer of emotional depth with a heartfelt rendition alongside the esteemed Gunsmoke Orchestra and Rex Corey, breathing life into the unspoken sentiments of the theme. Beyond Corey's contributions, the musical landscape of Gunsmoke was enriched by a cadre of distinguished composers. Elmer Bernstein, Jerry Goldsmith, Bernard Herrmann, Jerome Moross, and Franz Waxman all lent their creative talents, crafting melodies that resonated with the vast expanse of the frontier and the resilient spirit of its inhabitants. A legacy of longevity. Gunsmoke holds the distinction of being the longest-running primetime live-action television series in American history, airing for an impressive 20 seasons until September 2019. It maintained this record until Law & Order: Special Victims Unit premiered its 21st season. Originally tied with Gunsmoke in longevity until its cancellation in 2010, the original Law & Order also earned its place as a timeless television classic, with the debut of its 21st season in February 2022. Despite these milestones, Gunsmoke retains the record for the most scripted episodes of any primetime, commercial, live-action television program in the United States, highlighting its enduring popularity and cultural impact. Gunsmoke has consistently vied for the title of longest-running primetime series alongside other enduring shows. As of 2016, it ranked 4th globally, following Doctor Who, Taggart, and The Bill. It outlasted most of its contemporaries from the 1950s and even surpassed many from the 1960s in terms of longevity. Its eventual cancellation marked the end of a significant era in television history. The characters of Gunsmoke, portrayed by iconic actors including James Arness, Milburn Stone, Ken Curtis, Dennis Weaver, and Amanda Blake, have left an indelible mark on television history. Their performances in the Western genre garnered them recognition in the esteemed National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. Dodge City's Boot Hill Museum pays homage to Gunsmoke's cultural impact with a dedicated exhibit featuring props from its golden era, alongside autographed pictures and memorabilia from the cast. In 2015, the enduring legacy of Gunsmoke was celebrated as surviving cast members reunited at Dodge City's Wild West Fest, attracting fans from around the world. Beyond television, Gunsmoke's influence extends into realms of education and business. A combat sequence from the series was featured in the educational film Editing, Interpretation and Value, setting a national standard in film education programs. Furthermore, the Gunsmoke brand ventured into various commercial endeavors, from sponsoring products like cigarettes to cottage cheese. The Heartland Toy Company immortalized the characters as plastic figurines, allowing fans to carry a piece of Dodge City wherever they went. Why cast members left? During its remarkable 20-season run, Gunsmoke, one of the most cherished Western series in television history,
Hey, good. Now look, you gonna get out of here right away?
I sure am. It's no fun getting shot at.
That's the truth, isn't it?
saw several of its stars confront the difficult choice to depart at the height of its popularity. One of the most impactful exits came from Dennis Weaver, beloved for his portrayal of the endearing and steadfast Deputy Chester Goode during the show's first 9 seasons. Weaver, who had persevered through years as a struggling actor before landing the role that catapulted him to fame, found himself at a crossroads as he neared the decade mark on Gunsmoke. In a candid 1964 interview with the Hartford Courant, Weaver disclosed his reasons for leaving the show, expressing a deep-seated desire to broaden his acting horizons and pursue new opportunities beyond the confines of his character. After nearly a decade, Weaver articulated, "I want to walk without a limp in Gunsmoke. I've explored all the dimensions of Chester. There's nothing more I can do with that character." Weaver's choice to leave Gunsmoke was a momentous one, not taken lightly. Despite attempting to depart the show twice before, financial stability drew him back each time. However, when presented with the opportunity to star in a new series, Kentucky Jones, offering substantial ownership and a guaranteed salary, Weaver felt it was finally time to bid farewell to the show that had launched him into stardom. Kentucky Jones, though promising, turned out to be short-lived, spanning just 26 episodes compared to Gunsmoke's impressive 635. Nonetheless, Weaver remained resolute in his decision to move forward from the Western series. "I want to evolve as an actor, to innovate, to broaden," he expressed. "I know I may never find another show like Gunsmoke, but for my own artistic growth, I can't afford to let it define my career." Weaver's departure was just one among several notable exits from Gunsmoke over its long tenure. Amanda Blake, who portrayed the spirited and beloved Miss Kitty Russell for an impressive 19 seasons, had a departure that was more nuanced than Weaver's. Initially, Blake attributed her decision to leave to the long commute between her home in Phoenix, Arizona, and the show's filming location in Los Angeles. However, according to producer John Mantley, Blake's departure was more complex. Mantley disclosed that Blake had ongoing grievances and there was underlying tension between them behind the scenes. He characterized her exit as a situation where the employee quits before they are fired, suggesting that Blake's departure may not have been entirely voluntary. Despite the strained relationship, both Blake and Mantley agreed to keep the details of her exit confidential, aiming to protect the show's reputation from negative publicity. Blake maintained in public statements that she left Gunsmoke of her own accord, stating, "I was tired and it was time to go. It was the end of the trail." Gunsmoke continued for just one more year following her departure. When the show ended, after just a year Blake left the show, there was speculation among fans suggesting that her absence from the show let the CBS cancel the show. Is that true? We will find out now as we embark on the controversial act that took Gunsmoke off set. The reason the show got cancelled. Gunsmoke, one of television's enduring and iconic Western series, was marked by several memorable elements that shaped its lasting legacy. Dennis Weaver, who portrayed Deputy Chester, notably chose to play his character without a weapon, setting him apart from Marshal Matt Dillon and emphasizing a stance of non-violence. However, Weaver found a decision to incorporate a limp into Chester's character, challenging to sustain over the series' 290 episodes. Ken Curtis played a significant role in Gunsmoke, appearing in 307 episodes from 1959 to 1975, primarily as Festus. Interestingly, Curtis initially portrayed an Indian in one of the original 30-minute episodes before assuming the more prominent role of Festus. He later portrayed a Kansas cattleman who formed a bond with Dennis Weaver's Chester, only to meet a tragic end shortly thereafter. James Arness, renowned for his portrayal of Marshal Matt Dillon,
I guess it seems like torture, but it's gonna help you.
Torture, no help. I'm finished now.
was not only a hero on screen, but also in real life. Despite severe injuries, Arness served in World War II, earning accolades such as the Bronze Star, Purple Heart, and Combat Infantry Badge. His character, Matt Dillon, was notorious for shooting 407 people throughout Gunsmoke, reflecting the show's gritty depiction of the Wild West. Gunsmoke's iconic introduction, featuring a gunfight, became emblematic over the years but underwent changes amid societal concerns about violence during the Vietnam War era. The series unexpectedly concluded in 1975, with CBS cancelling it without prior notice to the cast or crew. This decision starkly contrasted with other shows of the era, like Roots, which ended with monumental viewership and acclaim. Despite its abrupt conclusion, Gunsmoke remains a cultural cornerstone, with James Arness returning for several TV movies to provide the series with a more fitting conclusion. The show's impact on television history is undeniable, though its sudden cancellation left fans and creators alike with a sense of disappointment. Gunsmoke's cast members, where they are now. Let's take a moment to look at the beloved cast of Gunsmoke, reflecting on their iconic roles and where they are now. Festus Hagen, portrayed by Ken Curtis, brought a unique drawl, unconventional looks, and a rustic demeanor to the screen. Festus served as both comic relief and a skilled gunman, being a steadfast friend to Marshal Matt Dillon. Curtis began playing Festus at the age of 43. Sadly, on April 28, 1991, Ken Curtis passed away in his sleep from a heart attack in Fresno, California, at the age of 74. Amanda Blake brought to life the character of Kitty Russell, the resilient owner of the Long Branch Saloon in Dodge City, Kansas. Kitty was a strong, independent businesswoman who commanded respect.
I've been missing you, Dylan.
Don't you start that. I get my ribs taped as it is.
And had a complex, unresolved romantic tension with Marshal Matt Dillon. Blake began portraying Kitty at 26 years old. Unfortunately, Amanda Blake died of liver failure due to viral hepatitis on August 16, 1989, at Mercy General Hospital in Sacramento, California, at the age of 60. Milburn Stone's portrayal of Doc Adams, the town physician of Dodge City, Kansas, made the character a cornerstone of the community. Doc provided medical care and guidance to Marshal Matt Dillon and other residents, balancing his gruff exterior with a heart of gold. Stone started his role as Doc at 51 years old and passed away from a heart attack in La Jolla in June 1980 at the age of 75. Glenn Strange played Sam Noonan, the bartender at the Long Branch Saloon in Dodge City. Known for his easygoing manner, Sam was a trusted confidant and beloved figure among the townspeople. Strange began playing Sam at 62 years old. Sadly, Glenn Strange died of lung cancer on September 20, 1973, in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 74. James Nusser portrayed Louis Feeters, the town drunk who often saw more than he realized. Despite rarely speaking more than a few lines, Louis left a memorable impression on audiences. Nusser began playing Louis at 51 years old and passed away in June 1979 in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 74. Buck Taylor took on the role of Newly O'Brien, who became the Marshal of Dodge City after Matt Dillon's retirement. Newly was a valuable aid in fighting outlaws and old enemies. Taylor started playing Newly at 29 years old, and unlike many of his co-stars, Buck Taylor is still with us today. Now 84 years old, he remains a living connection to the legacy of Gunsmoke. The controversial scene that ended Gunsmoke emphasizes the impact of sensitive content on long-running series and how such moments can unexpectedly alter the course of television history.